be rule number 1. Go ahead. Stay in your seat. That means quiet, 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 quiet. I can pull over. Fine, I'll pull over. I don't care. Make any difference to me. I don't care. Fine. No, you're not going to get home in 10 minutes. I don't care. Quiet. Quiet. Everybody be quiet. I'm not moving until I don't hear any speaking. You think you can get away with stuff. I run my bus a certain way. I don't care what the other bus drivers do. You obey me. Otherwise, I will keep stopping. Let's be quiet a minute, and I will talk to you. Okay. Oh, still here talking. Fine. We'll wait. I don't care. My concern is that you all be quiet. No. No. Be quiet. No. Sit down. I don't care if your mom's there. Makes no difference to me. You're not going with your mom. Language, but I don't want to hear a peep on you. Sit down! Sit down! I don't care! Sit down! I don't care about that car! Sit down! Sit down! Sit down! Sit down! Sit down! I am not moving until you are quiet. I am not moving.
This is base 1, sir.
The students not calming down. Stop. I'm on 61st right now. I haven't even reached Freakwood. Sit down! Sit down! No! No! Don't touch me! Sit down! No! Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. All of you, sit down. You're not getting off the bus. Sit down.
You've been here for like 40 minutes.
I don't care. I don't care. Sit down. I'm not budging. Sit down.
My parents are right there.
Sit down. I don't care. I am not moving. They are not listening. I have...
Go.
Hey, quit
Sit
grabbing.
down.
Hey, quit grabbing.
You better quit grabbing my thunder. I will time your ass in. You understand me?
I don't care.
You better. All right.
I don't Sit down. Sit down. Sit down.
You all have seen the video that I put up. So essentially what it was the bus driver. He was, as you've seen, he was telling these kids, hey, you got to sit down, you got to keep quiet, or we ain't moving. Okay. And these kids were all just like, nah, I ain't doing that. And then you got the people who was like, shut up, everybody, we gotta be quiet. And I'm like, dude, you yelling too, are you not yelling? That's equivalent to when people are like, shh, and doing all this other stuff. It's like, but you just as loud as them. Okay. But this whole thing that's going on, so they actually are trying to, right here it says school bus driver allegedly did not let kids get off until they quieted down. Now he's being charged with kidnapping because he's trying to discipline these kids and say, yo, you cannot be running around up here. You cannot be walking in the aisles while I'm driving. You also cannot be making all this noise, yelling and doing all this other stuff. They started banging on windows later on and doing all this, going through fire exits, emergency. We're going to get into all of this. Okay. And I got a few comments that actually came from this headline that was on Yahoo, but I have comments related to this video. But let's get into this mess. It says a school bus driver in Oklahoma is facing kidnapping and child abuse charges after he allegedly refused to let children get off of a bus until they quieted down. Thomas Young is his name, a 68-year-old bus driver at Broken Arrow Public Schools, was fired by the school district after the October 13th incident. The surveillance video, the driver, identified as Young, can reportedly be heard giving a warning to the middle school children. Okay. Quiet, everybody. Be quiet. The driver can be heard saying in the clip, I'm not moving until I don't hear anyone speaking. And here's the thing. I don't think that he's had any issue, or he would have had any issue, if y'all just like, yeah, girl, you know, can you believe that? Yeah, I wanted to really watch that movie and da-da-da. Yet these kids like, yeah, girl, can you believe that? I really want. And then they're getting loud, and everyone. That's the problem. If one person's getting loud, everyone's getting loud. Then you got to talk over that person. You got to talk over this person. And now everyone's just being belligerent. And he's saying, yo, can y'all keep it down? Multiple times. So I'm going to be, I don't know how long I'm going to edit the video to make it shorter, but this is at least this is at least a 13-minute video. Okay. And he's just constantly saying, yo, y'all got to keep it quiet. And they will not listen. Y'all. So I had a few comments before I continue this thing. Just rude, disrespectful, belligerent kids cussing at him, yelling at him, yelling at other kids, all that. So here's the thing. People may say, oh, well, but what he's doing is so wrong. And don't you think it's a safety hazard if kids are walking around and let's say a car pops out in front of him out of nowhere? He has to slam on the brakes and everyone goes like this. And the next thing you know, this kid goes and breaks their arm, or they go and get a concussion or something because they were not sitting down. They were standing in the middle and then they boom. Would that not be a worse issue? You know what I mean? And then I was like, oh, I got to sue because you're a bad driver. No, things happen. There's a reason why we tell you to sit down. All that talking as well. Do you not think that yelling and screaming and all that kind of stuff is not going to distract him? Okay, that's another thing. And it's like these kids are yelling, they're screaming, they're jumping up, they're doing all this other stuff back there. Okay, walking back and forth, and he's saying sit down, be quiet, and they refuse to do so. So if one of them got injured, multiple people get injured because of an abrupt stop or whatever, or he got so distracted, you know, listening to all this, you know, yeah, that he hit somebody. Who's really going to be at fault in all of this? It's going to be the kids. Well, they're going to blame him, but the kids are the ones who are causing the disturbance. But let's continue. He then allegedly stops the bus for around 9 minutes, and during that time, kids can be heard screaming and crying for help. At one point, Young can reportedly be seen putting his arm out to stop a student from exiting the bus. Banging sounds can also be heard. They are banging on the window because they're like, he won't let us out. He won't. And he's just like, just keep it quiet, y'all. Just keep quiet. You don't have to yell. You don't have to scream. You don't have to run. Just keep quiet. That's all I'm asking. And they can't do that. Simple instructions, and they can't do that. You think you can get away with that stuff, Young said. I run my bus a certain way. I don't care what the other bus drivers do. You obey me. Okay? I'm not your mama, I'm not your daddy. You could go ahead and disrespect them all you want, all day till Sunday. But you're not doing that here. Okay? So I just feel like this man, he simply had enough. Okay? This is also something that, you think about with adults anyways. You know how you have kids and they're like, oh, winter break, Thanksgiving break, and this break, that break, and all that kind of stuff, right? Because they understand that, yes, kids, they don't want to be overwhelmed. They need a mental health break. What about adults? We don't get that too, So, and this is what I think also aids in all that. Tired, 68 years old, he should be retired by now. Yet he has to still work, okay? Because we're getting underpaid. We're not having that great of working conditions. We don't have much time off, if any, for some people. And we have to pay our bills because everything costs more now, okay? And costs have continuously started to rise. And it's just like, okay, I have all this stuff stacked against me. And now I got to deal with your belligerent kids, rude kids that you refuse to parent properly. And I wanted to actually mention how it's so bad. I believe it's Philadelphia who actually has it so bad for bus driver shortages that they are paying parents to do like a round trip or a one way. So you pick your kid up and you drop them off, or you could just drop them off, or you could pick them up, whatever. And they are actually paying you because they don't have bus drivers in supply and surplus. That's how bad it is. Same with teachers. Teachers are like, I'm sick of this. I'm getting underpaid. I'm getting overworked. I got to deal with these parents. I got to deal with these bad kids because the parents are refusing to. Forget it. I'd rather go and work at a manager and be a manager at Walmart and make more money. That's what people are doing. I'd rather just go and do an OnlyFans or something. I don't want to because obviously I went to college. I did all this so I could get my degree so I could be, teaching kids, but it ain't paying. So I might as well go on OnlyFans. And this is something that really annoys me is when you see these kind of cases and then they're like, yeah, she got fired because she went to OnlyFans. You see people trying to get that fast money. It's not fast money if she went to college, y'all. And she went to college trying to do this other stuff so she could teach these kids. And this is what she wanted. And they're not paying her what she's worth. So what the heck else should she be doing? You know what I mean? So that's the kind of stuff that gets on my nerves because it's like teachers should not have to deal with this. Bus drivers should not have to deal with this. Really anyone else, if you get a degree or whatever, you shouldn't have to deal with it. You should not have to deal with this. You got a regular 9-to-5 job. You got a job. We work at 40 hours a week. You shouldn't have to get 2 to 3 other jobs, another job on the side, a side hustle. You're doing Uber Eats over here. You got a DoorDash over here. You got Uber over here, Lyft over here. And I'm selling on eBay. You shouldn't have to do all this if you work at 40 hours a week. And then on top of that, now I got to deal with your bad kids that you refuse to parent properly? Chad. Let's continue. After the students began leaving the bus through emergency exits, Young, the driver, drove to a nearby parking lot where more students escaped and he was confronted by police. I like how they say escaped. The bus had arrived 30 minutes late to pick up the students. Thomas said the alleged incident was unexpected. There were students who opened the back of the bus and jumped out while the bus was moving, which is a huge safety risk. There were lots of things that went wrong in this scenario. The students didn't respond well. The driver did not respond well. Okay, because you have crappy parents. Most of these, because here's the thing. We never pulled that kind of mess when we were younger, okay? Because we had both parents in the household and we had a strong parental figure, especially, who said, we're not doing this. Oh, you want to try some stuff? Okay. If I get a call, it's going to be me and you. You know what I mean? And then it's like, oh, okay. I can't ditch school, y'all, because my mama crazy. I can't do this because my daddy, These kids don't have any fear. They have no respect. So they don't care. There's no accountability. But we're going to actually get into some of the comments that I actually was looking at. And I have about 5 or 6 here. All right. So we got one. Totally support the bus driver. All the kids had to do was listen and follow his instructions, which were not unreasonable. Be quiet or quiet down. He didn't say make no noise. You just sit quiet down and sit down. That's easy. That's easy enough, okay? The reason this became an issue is the kids were out of control. The bus driver was only trying to safely get the kids home if this parent supports the kids in this incident. All right, now that's the thing. Because the parents they're like, well, he shouldn't have done that. And it's like, y'all just, we're just going to continue. Another one says, I remember my teacher holding us in class during lunch period because some of us could not simmer down. Once we did that, we were allowed to leave, only having a half hour left to eat. Nowadays, that would have been considered, quote unquote, child neglect. However, we never did that again. I side with the bus driver. And that's the thing, even with me, like we had, our class would be loud or whatever. And, you only got about, I think it was only 3 or 5 minutes passing period. I can't remember. I think maybe 5 minutes passing period. And I remember I had a teacher, everyone was going to get up and she went up to the door. She was like, you guys aren't going to leave until you guys be quiet. And I don't care if you get an ISS in school suspension, detention, get written up or whatever. So I don't care if you get that. You're not leaving until you all be quiet. So I could stay here. I got about 5 minutes. And then everyone was like, okay. Oh, okay. Let's all be quiet. Now you can go. Because when you actually show that there are consequences to your actions, that's when people will actually behave for the most part. Another one, same thing happened at my high school bus back in the 70s, but there were no cell phones, so parents couldn't run to help their quote unquote angels. I felt sorry for that poor old driver. He had a lot of patience, but sometimes the kids were really out of control. The bus driver never got in trouble though. Parents never threatened him. There was more respect for teachers, drivers, and adults in general. Somehow that respect got lost, and now we see the consequences. Kids think they are entitled to do as they please, run wild, etc., etc. Very sad. Another one, having been a teacher, I totally support the bus driver. He did not force those kids to jump out of the emergency exits. If they had listened, sat down, and got quiet like he asks, what would the problem have been? Parents just contribute these days because they teach their kids that they are entitled little angels who don't have to follow rules. And then when someone tries to get them to do that, what they're told for safety reasons, he gets blamed. And then here's the last one. It says kids out of control should lose their riding privileges, leaving the burden on the parents. That bus driver shouldn't have to go through all that while trying to drive. He could have handled it a little better, but if he had the backing from the school to have unruly kids banned, would get on their kids for their change. And that's the thing that I'm looking at, because that's what I would do. Like I said, Philadelphia, they're like, okay, if you guys can take your kids to school, take them to school. Because what I would do, if I was, and that's probably why he stopped, because they're like, the schools are going to help me out. The schools are going to back me. But that's what I would have done. I'll be like, okay, you know what? We're going to check the surveillance camera. Whatever kid this is, you only get 2 times. First time is a warning. Second time, you're banned from the buses. Your parents got to take you, or you're going to be homeschooled. I don't care how you get here. That's not my problem. That's what should be happening, because I feel like this is a privilege. Okay. You can take the city bus or whatever you need to take to get over here. But this should be a privilege. You know what I mean? I don't feel like you should just be able to just do whatever. Ain't no consequences and whatever, just because, oh, well, you're not on school, quote unquote, school property, But let me know what y'all think about this story. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and also leave a comment down below. I would also appreciate it if you could go on ebay.com, simply type in Latrice Limited, click on shops, and then you can support me right over there. I have a wide variety of items over there. I have many of my own personal Latrice Limited items, which has candles, bath bombs, soaps, essential oil blends, lingerie robes. I have a whole bunch of stuff. I even have comic books on there, men's ties, action figures, a whole bunch of other stuff as well. Definitely support me on there. Like I said, do not forget to like and subscribe, and thank you.